Well, today I'm going to talk about angels. So, yes. And then next week I'll follow up on the opposite. So I'll give you the how demons work and things like that. So I don't like to give demons too much airplay, but I think it's really important that we learn how to identify and recognize how they work and function on the earth, because this is part of how we're taking back what actually belongs to us. So, but let's look at the ones that are with us and the ones that are wanting to work with us, and that are our beautiful angels. So I'll just wait. We'll just wait a little bit longer, a few more people on, and then I'm going to go for it. And I've got another slideshow for you. Jenny, I can't believe how much work goes into putting slideshows together. I have spent all week on this. I'm like, oh my goodness, but I'm enjoying it, and I hope that you all enjoy it, and that you get benefit out of it. That's the most important thing to me, is that people get benefit out of our time together. And that's why, if you have questions, if you have subjects that you would like to explore or have conversations about, please, this is not my platform. This is your platform. We're doing this for those that want to learn, or that want to know different things, or all that sort of thing, because that's where we're going. So very good. All right, a few more people jumping on. So beautiful. Just put your hands up. Anyone did, after last week, did you notice anything or become aware of anything after we talked about ley lines and all that sort of stuff? No? Yes? Just put your little hand up.
Not so much ley lines, but we have had 2 very positive weeks so far, with a lot of unexpected positive surprises, which is always nice. Good.
Yeah, we like that. Cool. All righty, let's get going. I'm going to share my screen. We ready, Jenny? Beautiful. Where is it? Here. Let's see if this works. Okay, I can't see you through this, so for some reason, hang on. Am I doing it wrong? Sorry, guys, hang on a minute. Oh, I've lost it. Come back. Here we go. Shite. Oh my goodness, I had it already. Sorry, people. Highlights. Oh dear. Angels, here he is. Okay, let's try again. Yeah, you push one button too much, that's it, you're gone. All right, so I can't actually see you guys while I'm doing this for some reason. So I'm just going to go through it, and then we'll have questions at the end. How does that sound? Oh, here we go. Hang on. All right, that'll do. We'll go with that. Apologies, guys, learning all this wonderful technology, being stretched. See if that works. All right. Today we're going to talk about angels and demons, good, evil, positive, negative forces. So I'm just going to talk about angels this week, and then next week I'll talk about the opposite, and then how we move and connect with these beautiful beings. All right. What are good and evil, negative, positive beings? Angel is a spirit or heavenly supernatural being.
Are you sharing?
You can't see?
We are not seeing anything.
Oh. What have I done?
We're seeing you.
Oh.
Good enough itself, but it's not your presentation.
Okay.
Yeah, here it comes.
Here it is. Thank you.
Yes, that is visible. It is not a presentation mode, but we can see it.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, thank you for that. All right. So angels and demons, good and evil, positive, negative forces. What are good and evil, negative, positive beings? Okay, angel is a being or heavenly supernatural being, often referred to as messengers between God and humanity. Devil is a spiritual being who is referred to as the fallen angel, and that has influence upon the earth. So today I'm going to just cover angels, and we're going to look at their hierarchy, their objective, their purpose, what they look like, and the weapons that they have. So I'm going to go with the teaching, guys, and then we'll bounce off from that, because I want to give this to you the best way that I can. Who are angels? It's interesting. The term angels come from the Greek word angelos, which means messenger. So the purpose of angel is that they are messengers. Angels are purely spiritual messengers without a physical body, and they're servants of God or the Creator. Some information I found states that God actually created angels when he separated light from darkness. I'm just sharing some things that I found. Obviously, guys, everything that I present, you do your own research, you look into it, but there's lots of stuff there. And also, they're being the oldest creation existed from the beginning of time. Angel, through history, there's many accounts of angel encounters. It's everywhere. Angels recorded in history scripturally have always been present at profound stages of time and at main events. Obviously, church buildings and historic buildings have angels everywhere, but they also have demons as well. They have gargoyles, and they also have the green man that I showed last week. They have lots of different entities over the church, and I used to go into churches and I'd look at it and I'm going, oh my gosh, like they just didn't fit. They never made sense to me. It was like, why are they there? And it's a really good question. And what I did find out is a lot of it is because the churches in history, they wanted everyone to come into the one fold. So anyone that had what they deemed a pagan god, they would etch into the stonework so that they could relate to it. So that's how they drew all the religions together, which I found quite interesting. And we still have a mixture of religions here today. So angels have different references. So some people call them spirit guides, guardian angels, star beings, spirits, light beings, ascended masters, goddesses, archangels, wide ones, galactic beings, family, ancestors, and ascension masters, which is all really interesting words to look into. So I'm going to cover some of them today. So angels have an order to them and in accordance to their function, as do demons. So let's have a look at how the angels, the hierarchy of angels. And through this, I'll share with you some of my experiences with some of these different angels and the different hierarchy. And it was really fun doing this because I'd never kind of looked at pictures of these angels. It was like I'd have interactions with them, and now I found pictures and I went, oh, that's right. That's exactly what it looked like in the spirit. So let's have a look at these. All right. The top angel is the seraphim, and he has 6 wings. 2 cover his face, 2 cover his feet, and 2 for flight. Seraphim means burning ones. They are the attendees of the throne of God or the Creator. And it's interesting, they sing holy, holy, holy. So they're creating this atmosphere around God as well, and in the throne room of this reverence and awe. And I'm going to use a lot of scriptural references in this presentation because it has the best descriptions. And I'm okay with that because there's a lot of things in the Bible that's really good. There's some of it you go, okay, we'll just put that aside. And truth is always truth for you where you're at, but there's always different layers of truth. My truth has come from my experiences. So when this is how it works for me, guys. I get an experience in the spirit, and then God will either bring someone along that will share what that experience was or explain it, or they've had it, or I find books that talk about it as well. I don't read books and then try and have the experience. I have the experience and then I find a confirmation of what has happened. And like I said, I always share from my experiences where I've had authority, where I've had breakthrough. I don't read formulas or things like that. These are personal and real experiences for me. The next one we have is the cherubims, and they're full of wisdom, assigned to protect special places. They have 4 faces, 4 wings, 2 to cover their feet and 2 for flight. And again, I've got scripture here for you that if you want references and you got a pen and paper, you can write them down. You can check them out for yourself. That's up to you. This one here is thrones. Now, the pictures, yeah, can you see the picture there, guys? It's the rings of eyes is what thrones are with the flame. So it stands for steadfastness of love, and it has flaming, rotating rings covered with eyes. Now, again, here's scripture that you can use for reference. But what I find really fascinating about, what God creates, it blows and goes beyond our imagination, really. But, eyes rotating on rings, like, wow. The second tier, that was your first tier of hierarchy in the angelic realm. So we're going to go into the second tier, and they fulfill God or Creator's plan for the universe. So we have dominions. Now, dominions, he has 2 wings and a small sword. He's Lord over the lower angels and humanity. They take illumination from the higher ones and govern the universe. So I'll come back to a few things when I finish this. Virtues has 2 wings and governs over the operation of movement in the universe and associated with plants and elements. So I'm just going to digress for a minute here, because often people could refer to these angels as elementals. And with elementals, I know that the enemy duplicates everything that God has. All right, let's just get that on the table here. There's a duplication, because when I go through the demonic hierarchy, you will find that it's quite similar to what the angels have, because Satan is not able to create, so he has to copy. He's not capable of thinking up his own ability to create something new. He has to copy or duplicate what already exists. So let me just digress for a minute onto the elementals. So the elementals connect with fire, water, air, and earth. So fire is linked to energy. It represents cleansing, change, passion, and desire. The air is linked to breath, spirit, speech, and it's linked to flight, which frees us from being tied to the ground. Earth is connected with solid and useful, which is, with the body. And water is a source of everything, unconscious depths of psyche and mystery. Now, some of you will relate more to one or two or all of these elements. Water is a really big one for me. I live near water. If I don't live near water geographically, I need to have a swimming pool, or I have to play with the hose. I need water, and water is a place where I just connect with it, and it just brings me into complete balance. If I'm going through stressful things, it's just like okay, I can breathe again, because we all go through those situations. And some people are more the earth. They love to go out in the bush, they want to do grounding. They love the garden and all that sort of thing. I like that too, but it doesn't have the same effect on me as water does. There's nothing like sitting around, a good fire and looking at the flames and all that sort of thing. That's really nice too, but this connection is not as strong for me. Wind, air, I have a really good connection with as well. So just reminding you that all of this, remember, the enemy can use these things, but we have power and authority, and we can work with these as well. When Carl was here and we went to a property, we were standing in a creek, or a bit of it was a big creek, river. And we were both standing there, and we looked at one another, and he turned around and he goes, "Wow, there's something on the air." And I said, "Yes, there is." And as soon as we both said that, this gust of wind blew down. It was like a confirmation of saying, "Yes, I'm here." And it blew down the river and both, hit us in the face. It was gentle, but it was strong enough for us to know, wow, that's right. There's a presence here, right? So what I'm trying to do is like awaken you to, it's not just one thing or the other. It's all around us. Everything that God's created, there is these beautiful things that we can connect to. So the third tier, interact and serve humanity. I know this is a little bit dry, but I just want to get this foundation down for you guys. So these are powers: 2 wings and very large sword. Insist in governing the natural order. They are warrior angels tasked with fighting the war against the fallen angels. And they're in Ephesians as well. Now, this particular angel I've had quite a lot to do with. In the sense of they're very big. They're very big angels. One of the encounters I had with powers was he was standing in the middle of Australia, and exactly how that sword is on the picture, he was holding that sword, and it was not touching the ground, but it was just off the ground. And he was huge. I was like, wow, like what's happening here? And he was standing smack bang in the middle of Australia. Now, let me give you the backstory there. I was doing a lot of work over Australia, right? Sometimes these are the assignments that God gives me. Sometimes I'll do it, with other people. It just depends on the circumstance and the situation. But I was fully taken in a vision, and I saw this angel standing in the middle of Australia. And that was probably about 8 years ago. And I was like, wow, he was just, really beautiful, but very powerful. And because I asked questions, I was like, wow, like what's happening? Why is he there? And I didn't get the answer straight away. It was like, okay, you're aware that he's there. So there's often God will build on what he's doing and take you on the journey of learning what's happening. 12 months later, I get taken back to him in a vision, and he grabs the sword and he puts it into the ground. And it started to vibrate. The sword began to vibrate. And I knew that something really significant was happening over Australia, and that there was obviously always a purpose. There's always a plan of why they are there. They are strategically, positioned for times, for seasons, whether they're guardians, where they're protectors, where they're helping us bring God's heart and will, the Creator's heart and will for the earth. We're coming back into an alignment. So there's a lot of angelic activity throughout the earth, and it's going to happen more and more. It's not going to be just the few that see or interact. More and more people are becoming aware and becoming awake to their purpose on the earth, to partner with angels or allow angels to partner with us. Right? So that's just one of, and like I said, I've seen him many times, this particular type of angel. There's seasons where I've had one on both sides that just stand with me because of some of the things that I go into. And that's where I can say to you, fully assured, you are never alone. You are never alone when you're moving with God and doing what God's asking you to do, or moving in the Spirit, because we always have backup. And often we've been, hang on, I won't jump ahead, sorry. Principalities, 2 wings and a trident, princes of the lower triad, assigned to care and guide for communities, kingdoms, states, and parishes. They associate with transition of power. Now, we've got a lot of these guys working around the earth at the moment because there's a huge transition of power. So they are fully active and in, full stealth mode and doing a lot on the earth. Then we have the archangels. So we got 2 wings and a spear. They're leader angels assigned to communicate and carry out God's or Creator's important plans for man. We often know them as Michael, Gabriel, or Raphael. And they're very, very common, throughout the earth. If you talk about angels, lots of people will refer to these guys, and they are very important. And then we have angels. These are 2 wings with a shield. They are the closest to the material world of humanity. They are referred as our guardian angels, and they are always here to protect. So there's some scripture there again for you guys as a reference. So all of these creations are here to aid us in our purpose and our function. We do not worship them, but we do work with them, and we can interact with them. Angels, remember, means messengers. So let me just bounce off this for a minute. So often people will say to me, I can't see angels. not aware of them, all that sort of thing. And the reason that we don't see them is, number one, you could have a fear of the supernatural, because demons or Satan or evil has had so much, marketing on the earth that a lot of the world is programmed to evil. It's like, I don't want to see evil, and I get that. They don't want to see demons. It's like, so they don't want to see anything. So it's a fear of the supernatural, and you need to deal with that fear. You need to cut it off your life if you want to interact with angels. But guys, if you interact with angels, if you start seeing them, you will see the other side. So I am putting a bit of a warning with this. Like I said, I've shared with you, I'm one of these, like, I want it all, and I want it all now. And when I had my encounter with the Creator that literally changed my life, I had a transfiguration, I had a transformation instantly. I could see into the demonic. But the connection with God was so deep and so life-changing, and I was, all my fears went, that when I saw them, I just said to them, I pointed my finger at them, I said, you cannot touch me anymore. And I turned around and went back to sleep. Right? So, I'm not afraid of them. I know who I am, and I know who is with me when we're dealing with that sort of stuff. Now, guys, I don't talk about this very much, but I've spent years doing deliverance ministries, healing ministries, I've done so much of that. And one of the shifts that I had personally was because I was often doing deliverance. And, I'm not one of these that, we can find a demon under every chair. I'm not one of those persons. I never have been. But there were a lot of, dare I say, a lot of demons sitting in church buildings for some reason. And so there was this call to do deliverance ministry. Now, I've got a lot of great fruit. People's lives have been completely changed and transferred, but I never liked the way that it was done in churches. Lots of people want to show. They want to see, people screaming and thriving and frothing on the floor. I don't do ministry like that. I don't do deliverance like that. I have full authority. And if I am calling a demon out, it always has to come out quietly. I will not let it do a display. I will not let it become the center of attention, because that's what they crave for. Because when people around are not familiar with that, it creates fear. And then hence we have the fear of the supernatural, which religion has cultivated beautifully. So they'll tell you, you can talk to demons, right? If any of you are aware of some of that type of ministry, they go, oh, yeah, ask the demon what his name is, why is he there, all that sort of stuff. If you are moving in the spirit, you don't need to ask them a question, because you will already know. You pull on the spirit of wisdom and discernment, you will already receive the answers. I can do, times clearings with people, and I can pinpoint the very area that they come in. And I tell you the importance of that. It's something that I really, I'm going, okay, people let these entities, and not everyone has a full possession. Can I just say that? Sometimes there's areas in their life where they're oppressed by entities, evil entities, and that therefore that area needs to be cleared up. And it's often related to a trauma or an event that has been a doorway, which gives evil entities the right to be there. All right, depending on how that person has reacted. Sorry, that was a little bit of a digress, but I just felt I needed to share that. So the other thing is why we don't see angels, or we're not working with them as much as we should be, is it's the atmosphere that you carry and the atmosphere that you create around you. I'll recap on that story that I've shared quite a while ago. Living on my own, and I came home and my house was full of angels, to the point that I was like, I walked in and saw all these angels in my lounge room, kitchen, dining area. And I walked in, I went, oh, okay, hang on a minute. And I'm like, rightio, question number one, why are you here? Number two, their presence was so beautiful. I almost felt like I had to walk out because I didn't want to interrupt what they were doing. And then it was like, I stopped and I went, okay, God, why are they here? And he said, well, they're here because they're using your house as ground control. It became a base for all these angels. And they were there for a couple of weeks. So I personally, this has just been my human, I turned around and I said, well, that's fine. They can have the house. They can't have my bedroom or my bathroom. I like a little bit of, what's the word? Like, okay, not quite comfortable with that. So, I want my privacy, please. And they were fine with that. And they spent, and I had some really, different types of angels, like I've just shown you, different ranking, and they were in full, mission mode. And they were coming in, and I saw other ones fly in, and they were giving papers, documents, and then they would roll them up, and then they'd fly off with the documents. It was like, here is your assignment, and off they go. It was incredible, guys. It was just amazing. Now, I would go off to work and I'd come back and, they've been there all day. Can you imagine the atmosphere? Do you know, I could not turn on a computer. I could not turn on a television. I could not turn on anything. I felt like I was going to disrupt this incredible presence that was in my house and the goings-ons. And, after a couple of days, it's like, guys, I'm just going to the shop. Does anyone want to come with me? Like, I just started interacting them like they were humans. And, some of them go, oh, yeah, I'll come for a ride. And okay. And that was really interesting. When I go to the shop, I'd find the best specials when you go with angels. Come home and go, wow, that was a good shop. So, that you can have fun with them. We've got to shake out of this religious mindset that everything is so serious. Like, they love to have fun and they love to interact with us. And not only that, there's a lot of unemployed angels. They're sitting around waiting for us to connect with the spirit, with creation, and get our assignments. And a couple of months ago, I was driving past a cemetery, which, I had to drive past to go to work a couple of times in a different area. And I was like, I looked at the cemetery, and this is what the spirit said to me. He said there was a lot of people that never fulfilled their purpose and destiny in that graveyard. And you know what? That made me feel sad. I was just like, wow. And then it's like, yes, but God, it's not too late. So we can call forth those purposes and destinies that people didn't fulfill. This is when I do generational clearing with people, I call forth their purpose, their destinies, their blueprints. I call forth the assignments that belong to that family line, your family line, that has been shut down, right? And you can call forth the angels to help bring that. They're here to help us, and many times I'm very quick to call on them and be engaged with them. I had a situation where my daughter and I, we were coming, this is in 2010, we were driving up to the Gold Coast, and we were behind this big truck. Now, my daughter's sitting next to me. She's 13 at the time, and the truck flicked up this big rock. It was this big, guys, no joke, nearly the size of my head. And I saw it coming through the air and heading straight for Jessica, because she's on that side, my passenger side. She's coming, that rock is heading straight for us, for her. I'm like, I looked at it and I was like, no, is all I said. I went, no, because I could see where it was going, what it was going to do. And midair, let me tell you, how do I show you this? Midair, here's this rock coming at us like this, and all of a sudden it was like this hand grabbed it and went like that, and it went around the car. It missed us, but that rock was sitting mid my bonnet, right? So here it comes like a missile, and it moved like that, and it went around the side of the car. Jess didn't see it. She was doing something else. And then I looked again and I saw an angel sitting on the bonnet. So can you get that picture, guys? Like, here's this angel sitting on my bonnet, and this rock's coming and he just flicks it away. And I was like, oh, thank you so much, right? Because we were being sent to the Gold Coast for a reason. We were on a mission. Okay, so this is where God is always looking out for us. Angels are there to protect us. You know, some people pray this prayer, which I just don't get. They ask for traveling mercy. I'm like, why are you asking for mercy when you can have angels there to protect you? To me, it's a bit backward. And I know this is the way I think. It's like, why would you settle for mercy when you can have full protection that you don't actually need mercy? Does that make sense? So let me show you some pictures of some angels. So this is an angel that was captured on camera over a church in Brisbane, and they were in a battle, and this angel showed itself, and they ended up winning the battle. So that's great. We like winning battles. This is another photo. This is an actual photo as well. To me, I'm like, well, they look like they're riding horses, but that's still an incredible impression of what goes on around us. I think it's a beautiful photo. I think I showed this one last week as well for ley lines and portals, but this is a fire that creates a portal, and then this angel appears, and then an orb as well. And then this one here is another one. Look at that. So which one do you think he is? He's a big one. So these are all around us. You know, it's just, they're just incredible, and they're fun to engage with. And, you know, we need to laugh at ourselves sometimes, guys. You know that. We need to just shake off the seriousness, and we got to shake off, you know, what we feel that we're up against on the earth, and just have a good laugh and just go, you know what, we've got this. We've got all of these incredible beings with us, let alone the spirit, let alone the creator. Like, honestly, it's a win-win. So how do you know if an angel is present? So let me tell you this. I spent this week, preparing this slide for you guys, and all of a sudden I had feathers appearing around the house. So I've got that on the list here. feathers appear in the natural. Now, I've not had feathers in this house where I'm living at the moment. And all of a sudden, while I'm talking about angels and engaging with them and learning about them, I have feathers appear around the house. I'm like, yep, I know you're here. Sometimes I forget to say g'day because you get caught up with things, but they're here to help us. So often there's a sparkle of light out of the corner of your eye. Now, I'm sure many of you have had this experience where you're like, something catches out of the corner of your eye and you're just like, oh, I thought I saw something. Guess what? You did. But you dismissed it because that's what we do. We go, oh, well, I can't see it in the natural, so it's not there. Always, as soon as I get that glint, I turn and I go, okay, who are you? What are you doing here? I lean into it. Flickering lights, goosebumps, hair standing on end, hair at the back of your neck, the feathers, silver coins or gems is another really good one. I've had silver coins pop up and I'm like, oh, okay, that's different. Or there's a full physical being like this guy that we just had there. Well, no, that's not a physical being, but yeah, a physical being. Again, there's if you want lots of scripture, there's plenty of scripture that you can go and have a look for. So what are angels here for? They are messengers. They're here to help us. They are here to protect us. They can help bring direction or guide us. They can intervene. Now that angel that moved that rock intervened. I hadn't asked him to do it. He just stepped in and intervened because he could see that's what I needed. They can guide us and they are always with us. So discerning what is invisible. Now, the difference between good and bad. This is really, really important, guys, simply because, as I said before, the enemy duplicates what is already created. And I'll go into that next week. I'll explain more of that next week in depth. And then our job in the midst of this. It's really important we realize our purpose and plan in the midst of this. So remember always, there are more good than there is evil. And the difference between knowing the good and the bad, whether it's a positive being or a positive entity or a positive energy and negative, is you lean into it and feel what your body's saying to you, feel what your spirit's saying to you. If it's negative, you'll know it. You just know it. You're like, oh my gosh, what's that? And it can take your breath away a little bit. It can you feel uncomfortable. You get that sense of, hang on, something's not right. Please listen to that. Because this is where you are given an option. This is where you get a choice. Do you continue to move with that something's not right? Or do you go, you know what? I do not contract with this. I do not consent to be a part of that. And I'm using some legal terms that we've all been learning because we are in a law that is lawful, or it has legalities to it. Just like I said before about when you interact with angels, they're there to protect you. Sorry, I'm just having a blank. Let me just regroup for a minute. So I don't know why that was, but anyway. So angels are there to help you, to guide you. and they're there to engage. We're there to engage with them. So there is a war. There is a battle between good and evil, but you need to know the battle has already been won. So when the battle's already won, we come and we move from a place of victory, of overcoming. We're already won. Now, part of how the enemy moves is he wants us to be afraid of the supernatural. Like I said, religion's done a great marketing job. It's taught us not to talk to angels, not to interact with them, but, let's talk to demons and talk about demons. And the atmosphere that you carry, the atmosphere that you create around you, the people that you even have around you, your tribe, this is the shift that's happening. We're finding more like-minded people. We are becoming less tolerant of putting up with the rubbish, with the negativity, with the abusive behavior, with the religious side of it, where we've been limited and capped, and we're breaking that box. We're breaking out of that. And, some of the things that I do personally that I'll get people to do is sometimes if you want to break out of a box, well, then go and find a box and rip it up. Make a physical declaration of the changes that you want. Some people will write a list and then they'll burn the list that, of what they want, things that they want to change in their life, areas in their life they want, don't want it to be anymore. They want change. You can write a list and burn it. Remember what I said about fire? It's linked to cleansing, change, passion, desire, right? Some people, might want to rip a piece of paper up and let it fly in the air. Again, you're engaging with the elements, which the angels use as well. Water, again, another place where it's just tranquil. There's nothing like sitting beside a babbling brook or listening to the roaring waves of the ocean. I love it. And or sitting beside a waterfall, and I love the power of water. I think that's probably why I really love it so much, because there's so much about it. There's so many, for those that are scriptural references, there's so many references to water, to the sounds of many waters. Like, you try and picture that for a minute. Sometimes it's good just to go and sit on the beach, guys, and sit on a rock and watch the waves, crashing waves, big waves, and listen, lean in and listen, engage with it, so that it is, you feel into it, you lean into it. Anything that happens around me, I lean into it. Okay, and I ask the questions. So, why are you here? Why is your presence here? Why? Sometimes God just lets you feel his incredible presence because it's an encouragement. It's letting you know that he loves you. Or sometimes I just start laughing, so joy hits me. Well, joy is really powerful. So, when you pick up an angel feather and you're like, wow, thank you. You're letting me know, you're reminding me, because in our busyness of life, we can forget. And I just, there's more with us than there is against us. And as the community grows in awareness and, and intent and purpose, the more powerful we humans become. And we're taking back what the enemy thinks that he has dominion over, and he doesn't. It's our dominion. It was given to us. And the more of us that rise up and take that authority, working with angels, working with the Spirit, working with knowing who you are, remember, who God is for you, and what you bring onto the earth is how we bring the change for the better. Because the fact is, we are all inherently born to know the difference between good and evil. It's part of our DNA. And we choose to be good. There are those that choose to be evil. And there's a lot, we can talk about a lot of that next week, why that happens, and the footholds that the enemy will try and have, and how we can help people get out of that, or how we cannot contract with that. So these are all the things that are available to you. These are the different functions. Remember, angels, guardian angels are with us all the time. The next levels of angels are there for a purpose. And, don't be afraid to ask them. Ask them why they're here. What's going on? Don't be afraid. Remember, they're here to help us. We're not here to help them, but we work with them. Did that make sense? So it's, we can call on the angels. We have that power and authority as well. We can call on them. I call them to surround situations so that they're there to protect. Okay, so you can ask them to go before you. You can ask them to help bring an atmosphere of peace. You can ask them to help bring an atmosphere of change. And the thing is, they are waiting for us to speak the words that they can work with, that they can work on. That's how they get their commands. When we speak it, when we declare it, when we proclaim it. So none of us should be in need or lack, because we can call those things into our life. But I've got to really stress here, it's about the atmosphere of who you carry, or what you carry, who you are, and what's in the house. The reason I had so many angels in my house, because I asked God, I go, God, why are they at my place? And he goes, because you have the atmosphere of creation here, of heaven here, right? Heaven here on earth. Heaven is at hand. Heaven is in your hand. Creation is in your hand. It's here. When you help others, you are releasing the heart of God to help others, right? So it's all about the nature of creation, the nature of the Spirit, the nature of God, the nature of the angels. They're good angels. So their nature is, like I presented, all those different attributes. And the beauty about angels is they're not looking to become something else, which we as humans tend to do. We don't want to seem to stay in our lane or stay in who we were created for. And that's part of what the enemy likes to do. Because if you're out of alignment, in dis-ease, then you're out of your purpose and plan while you're here on the earth. All right, I'm going to finish there. Is there any questions? Did everyone enjoy that? Any questions in the chat, Jenny?
No, but I have two.
Okay, go.
First, that picture of the angel was very, very large. How do they fit in your house? And then second, when you're hearing an angel voice, is it different than God's voice?
Yes. God's voice is more audible and or really still and quiet. Angels tend to come here. They speak here. So it's an impression that goes through your mind. It's an instruction or a message that comes through here. So that's how I hear them. I probably see them quicker than I do hear them, because then when I see them, I know I need to engage with them. I go, okay, you're here. What's happening?
I think someone sneezed. If you want to ask a question, raise your hand. or put it in the chat.
All right, Obi's
How to
got
get
one.
to
Go.
the fucking chat.
Oh.
Oh, I love it.
Hey,
Dottie,
Obi.
I love you. I love you so much. You make me laugh. And so when I come, I just expect to laugh when I come here.
I
It's
promise.
fun.
I promise to
Yeah.
entertain. Go
I
on.
need, I would like some help with my cognitive bias of the word hierarchy, and because I always associated that with the other side. And so you're saying that, so what I'm hearing is God's
It's a
realm
chain.
has all.
Yeah, it's a chain of command. There is order, right? So as you know, depending where your mindset is, it's like, well, as above is beneath, as it is in heaven is here on earth, right? So they're the different kind of wordings, but they mean the same thing. So here on earth is duplicated of what is in the spirit realm. That's why I'd rather live in the spirit realm, because one, it's more fun, and it's more fluid, and it's full of activity and all that sort of thing. And I just love engaging with it. I love, being in the spirit. I actually personally don't cope very well not being in the spirit for very long. That's why I've learned to be in it 24/7. So it's a chain of command, because you need a chain of command, because you need order. And God is a God of order. The Creator is a God of order. Otherwise, we wouldn't have seasons. We wouldn't have, the timelines that we have. There's always order. Satan is the God of chaos, right? He has a hierarchy, but when I talk about it next week, they are often trying to outbid each other. And something that, while I was doing this, gathering all this information for you, one of the things that God showed me that is on the earth, which I found really interesting, so this is hot off the press, is that Satan has a predatorial spirit. He is predatorial. He is constantly trying to seek who he can devour. And I'll touch on that more next week. At the moment, I want you to really just concentrate on the angels. I don't like giving the enemy much play, because he's not worth it. We need to be aware of him. We need to have knowledge about him, but we don't have to engage with him. We just need to know how to flick him off when he tries to come at us, and help others flick them off as well. So, don't get caught up in the hierarchy or the triad. It is a state of order, so that the angels know. It's the same in your household. It's the same in animals. It's like they always have someone that is the main leader, but we work as a team, right? And there's different projects that different people become leaders in. But we work as humans, we work as a team. Is there someone that leads the charge? Absolutely. There are those that call the vision, they call the purpose and the plan. It's the same as, another way of putting it, you have the pioneers that go and break ground. They plow the earth to make a track, and then all the settlers come after them. They come and they settle on the area that's been cultivated or opened up, and they settle and they populate it, they create it, they expand it. But you have people that are visionaries that are plowing ground. They're pioneering things in the spirit for the things, they're opening things up. This is why we talked about portals and ley lines last week, because there are openings that we can connect with. As much as portals and ley lines and everything are great, I feel, this is where I come from, we are greater than those ley lines and portals, because we are connected to the Creator. Does that make sense, guys? Okay, next, there's a few more hands, so let's go.
Next, we've got Hans and Lisa.
Yep.
I had two experiences in my life which were very unclear to me, very
Yep.
beautiful, also a bit scary. One was like an ice ball coming towards me from a distance, and it became a snowball. It was getting bigger, 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 and eventually I was fully covered in it, and I couldn't breathe anymore. It was making this loud noise. And then as I thought I was strangled, then it got and disappeared and it was small again. So this was one experience, and I never knew what it was. And the other one was as I was in Germany, it was in the middle of the night, I had my eyes open and I saw a kind of blue light was going like this, flickering, and it was also going like that, flickering. It was like a cross, but not completely, like an oval cross or so. And it was just a few seconds, and I realized, and I thought, what is this? And then boom, it was gone. So I never thought, what is it? I never got out what it was. So it was very strange for me, but it was not
Right.
looking like so.
How did you feel?
Well,
The first one frightened you.
bit, yeah. It was, but I also had a trauma before that, so I thought it was a cleaning or so or whatever. I don't know, because it was taking something off me and then go. So
Okay.
perhaps it was a bit cleaning or so, and then afterwards I felt relieved, but it was scary as it came to me. So as if it was a stone, but it was a ball like snow. So
Yep.
and getting, yeah. So that was. But
So they sound they're orbs.
Okay. Orbs,
They're like
yeah.
an orb. So they're like an energy orb. So
Oh.
some of the actually, can I answer that question next week? Because I'll explain that a bit more.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is that okay? Thanks, Lisa.
Yep.
All right, next person.
Gil and, oh, I'm sorry, Nina A. Go ahead.
Hey, Nina.
Hi, Dottie. Thank you. This is my first time on, as you know,
Welcome.
Dottie.
Yes.
Thank you. Mine's a very straightforward question. I feel a bit silly asking, but why can't
Right.
we go straight to, I do believe in angels, but you're
Yep.
saying to ask them for protection. Why can't we go straight to God?
Oh, I totally agree with you, Nina. Absolutely. Everything I do goes straight to God, but sometimes there are more things that are happening that we need. So I am fully with you, girl. And that's why when, we were talking about ley lines, it's like, we don't limit yourself to having encounters with ley lines or portals, because we can have a direct account with God. We've got everything that we need. But the angels are still here when there's certain assignments, like the angel in the middle of Australia that I was sharing about. He's there to bring something onto the earth, right? He wasn't there for me. He was there on an assignment. So most of the angels that I encounter or I see, they're on assignment. They are here fulfilling something on the earth. Now, I've seen, guys, I could sit here all day and tell you all the different encounters that I have with angels. Okay, let me tell you another one. I went up, this is very strategic, because this was up just before we all went into the crap that we've gone through for the last 4 years. Well, I don't call it crap, I call it an awakening, actually, because it's really shaken up the earth. Now, I had a dream. And the dream was, Dot, I'm going to take you up into the galaxies. And I went, oh, okay, I'm up for that. And then the next day I was sitting in my lounge and I had a girlfriend with me who's really switched on as well. And I said, oh, God told me he was going to take me up into the galaxies. And she goes, oh, yeah. I said, do you want to come? And she went, yeah. And we both sat back, and it was like we were we were in these reclining chairs. This is what we both experienced, right? Now, we're not talking. We've just decided we're both going on this trip. And we both laid back on the lounge, sat on the lounge, and we both got taken up into the galaxies. Right now, when I got up there, and that's how we were transported like that. Normally I just go up, but for some reason it was like, okay, you're going up in this chair. And I got up there and I stood up and I looked to the left and I looked to the right, and I saw the most incredible beings. They were colors that I can't even describe. Right? They're indescribable, the colors that I saw. And I saw them in the thousands. They were to the left and to the right of me. And I just went, oh, okay. So I turned around and I'm like, so what are you guys doing? And they're looking at me going, we're waiting for you. And I'm like, what? What are you waiting for me for? Like, you know, here, look at you all. Like, it was a real, you know, it was an interesting experience. Now, this is where I was still learning, okay? And I'm like, oh, wow, look at these guys. And then they said, we're waiting for your command. And I went, oh, okay. So I'm going to God, what's the command? Because I don't know why I'm here. I'm just enjoying this ride. My spaceship ride, you know, into the galaxies, and I'm looking at the earth and I'm looking at these incredible beings and I'm looking out in the, you know, space, and I'm like, wow, this is really cool. I'm just having a great time. And God says, you need to command them. I go, yeah, okay, I got that. What do you want me to say? And he goes, I want you to release them to bring healing onto the earth. And I went, oh, okay. And I turned around and I just looked at him. I said, go. So all I said, and they all just went. It honestly, I'm getting whacked just talking about it because the experience was so incredible. I hope you're feeling that too, the presence of God on that story. And this is when you know when someone's telling you the truth of their encounter or when they're not, because you actually feel the energy on it. You feel the presence on it. Yeah. Anyway, these angels went, oh, but the colors, I can still see them, guys. And that's the other thing. When you have a vision or a dream or you have an encounter, you can go back into it. If you have a glimpse of somebody there and you kind of go, oh, and then you go, oh, hang on a minute, go back and go, hang on a minute, what was that? Where are you? I really want to engage with you. That's if you want to engage with them. Yeah. So this is the asking, Nina. It's like they're there for us. You can have them stand guard around your property. Doesn't mean that God's presence isn't everywhere and all over it. It's just like another layer. It's like, oh, you put one top on and then you put a jumper on because you want to, you know, don't want to feel the coolness. You put a jacket on if you don't want to feel the cold. It's the same sort of thing. It's these layers, and they're all there with us and for us. But I'm right with you, because I always go straight to the Spirit, straight to God, straight to the Creator. He's my main source. I think I shared, Nina, you wouldn't have heard this. I'm one of these people. I always go straight to the top. You know, as a child, it was, you know, brought up in a Catholic church, and I went, why would I go to a priest to speak to God? If I can't speak to him to direct, he's not worth talking to. That's me.
I'm the same, Dottie. I had a Catholic upbringing, so I have a real thing about going through someone now.
Yep. And it's right. It's right. It's right. And I'll still see you at 11:30 today. All right, next question.
Thank you. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Thanks, Nina. All right. Gil?
Yeah, hey Dottie. It wasn't so much a question. I just wanted to tell you I appreciate the energy that you put into the presentation. That it helps to be able to see the verses too that we can reference and look up. And that was an amazing experience you just shared. I did feel that.
Yeah, yeah. I could sit here all day with those. Wow.
I just wanted to tell you thank you.
Oh, thank you, Gil. I really appreciate that, because sometimes I'm like, oh, I hope this is, not too simple, but I'm a simple person, guys. I really am, and and you know what? We're in the era of simple. God's taking the simple things of this earth to confound the wise. So cheers to simple. All right.
Thanks.
Next.
Next, we have Siraj Kumar.
Hey, Siraj, how are you, darling?
Hi, I'm good, Dottie. I'm just wanting to share the things I know about angels. So
Is
I've
it a
learned.
question?
It's not a question. I just wanted to share about angels.
I really want questions, sweetheart.
Okay, you can move on to next one then.
Thank you.
Obi,
It's questions here. Go, Jen.
Me?
Yes, Obi, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I saw a hand up there. I want to get my most important one in, I think. If we've already won the battle, or no, if we've already won, why are we still battling?
We're battling because, let me put it really simple. Evil prevails when good people do nothing. Evil has prevailed on this earth, right? Satan is an illegal tenant. The earth was given to us, but we have not governed it. We have not stood in who we were designed and created to be and do. And that is the shift that's happening. We are finally waking up, not just the handfuls, not just a few communities. We are waking up in the millions. And that's what needs to happen. That's the shift that we're coming into.
So that kind
of
go ahead.
Go.
Oh, I was saying, so that kind of points, or actually it turns the coin. I always say there's two sides, and then from, oh no, here comes the next wave of chaos, and that's actually a good thing, as people are still wearing masks, not waking up, because we all have to come to some level to end this, whatever it is. And
yeah,
so,
absolutely.
So it's kind of like,
what's ending is the rule and reign of evil. It is ending. So what needs to happen is we need to rise up and we need to take positions. We've got to come out from, particularly here in Australia, is she'll be right, mate. It won't be right. But we've got to do it from the spiritual aspect. Then when we have our spiritual assignments, then we can clear things in the spirit. Like going back to the ley line and portals, there are portals that need cleaning up. They need evil entities removed. Totally agree with that. There's buildings that has dominions and principalities and powers sitting over that needs to be removed. We're just, most people that are spiritual, they're too busy being woo woo woo, or they're too spiritual begging for God to do something on their behalf. We're coming into being balanced. We have been completely out of balance, right? Because that's the great job that Satan has done with his marketing on the earth. He's told us we're not good enough. We don't make the grade. We're nothing, but we're everything. Next Friday, I'll be able to explain that more, because I don't want to get into the demon side, plus we're over time already, but I'll explain more of that next week. So you'll have to come to the Zoom, baby.
Oh, well, I was just, and that's a question I had asked Cal was, if we know about these strongholds and strongmans, why we're not kind of as a group going and cleaning these portals up and doing things. And well, his answer was, well, I don't go looking for things, you know. And so I'm like, well, that makes perfect sense. And then I listen to you and you're like, well, these things need cleaning up. Well, we're looking at
Okay,
people
so
here.
great. I'm really glad you brought that up, Obi, because what I had a session with someone yesterday. Now, what happens is people write manuals, okay, the how-to list. And I'll give you an example. The courts of heaven. It's a how-to list. People go, oh, that's a good idea. Let's go into the courts. But they haven't been given an assignment or a message to go and do that. They've gone, that's a good idea. And then they get themselves into trouble. The reason that they get to trouble is everything is strategic. There is a time and a place. Remember, God's a God of order. Part of what's happening is people are waking up. They're starting to connect with who they really are, their spiritual. We're more spirit than we are human, right? They're connecting, the awakening of their spirit. They're learning who they are. They're learning what the power that we hold, the position that we hold, right? So then we can come together. And I've done this a lot of times over the years. There'll be groups of people that will come together for certain seasons to go and do certain things. There's more people doing it than what you realize, Obi. You just haven't connected with those groups yet. There are thousands and thousands of groups that have already gone before us and done a lot of work. There's people that are doing a lot of work right now, and there's people that are going to do lots of work. The thing is, we're coming into awareness of the power that we hold, who we are, what we bring on the earth. Right? Some of us need to clean up our houses, our homes. We need to shift the energy that you're living in or under. That's why this season, and it's sad to say, but people are outgrowing some of their partners because they're moving in the spirit and the other one doesn't want to. You want a scripture for that? The scripture says, 2 men standing in the field, one gets taken up, one gets left behind. We all have a choice. We are in a huge global spiritual shift. And there'll be those that are for the creation and creator and those that are not. That's why communities are starting to flourish with very like-minded people, like Empower, like LFM, Living Free Movement, which is awesome because it's so easy to work with people that are on the same page. There's no friction, there's no conflict, there's no agenda, there's no ego. We're just all simply wanting to move forward and be true to ourselves and true to one another. So there's integrity, there's honor, there's care, there's love. I don't know about you, but living in an environment like that just makes my heart sing. Mm-hmm. Too many battles are happening in the family home. And there's a shift. Number one, you either take dominion, you take authority over what's going on, you get rid of the evil energies or the negative energies, the negative influences. A lot of the influences come through television. Let me tell you your vision, right? The music that we hear, it's written out of not frequency, but it's on the wrong hertz. So it brings a distortion, right? The food that we're eating, it's distorted, it's polluted. These are all the things that we're waking up to. Some of us have known forever. Some of us have known for a while. Some of us are just learning. Yeah. We're all at different stages, but that's what's happening on the earth. Guys, if you don't have a veggie patch, you need to get one. We need to start stopping to look at packet food to be our source of food. We've got to start going back to being organic. If you've got property, please do a veggie patch. Get chickens. Get a cow if you can, if you want milk. We're going back to being the food that's not polluted, because that shifts. I know that there are foods I cannot eat because it dumbs me down in the spirit. It makes me heavy in the spirit. If you want to awaken your senses, then stop eating wheat. Stop eating carbs that are being modified. It's all created to shut you down spiritually. It's all created to calcify your pineal gland, which is a spiritual receptor. These are the things that you can do practically, but spiritually, let your heart focus on the things of the Creator. If you want to engage with angels, start thinking about them. Start talking about them. Start learning about them. They will appear. If you want to have dreams and visions, start thinking about it. Get yourself ready before you go to bed. Go and be careful what you watch. Because if you watch crappy shit, you're going to dress. Sorry, I swore. If you well, that's what it is. If you watch junk, then you're going to dream about junk, because it's all programming. But if you prepare your hearts for coming into, I want to have encounters in the night. I love going to bed at night because I get to do a whole lot of stuff while my body's sleeping. It's like my spirit can go on assignment. I have to ask for them. Go, God, I want to go on an assignment. So, and then it might be a couple of nights, and then all of a sudden I'm on assignment. I've come back with scratches from being on assignment, guys, because it's like I had to rescue somebody. That was fun. I'll share another thing with you. Because I like going on assignments, God took me down into the tunnels. And I saw what was going on in the tunnels. If you guys are aware what I'm talking about, I went, God, I don't want to do this. I couldn't, my personality could not handle it. Who I am as a person, it broke my heart. I'm going, God, I don't want to do this. He showed it to me. I went, okay, yep, I see it. It's truth. It's true. They really exist, but I don't want to go on an assignment. Other people have gone on assignment to help free people, but it's not me. And he's okay with that, and I'm okay with that. I'm better off doing what I know that I'm better at. Does that make sense? Okay, cool.
We've got Fred. It looks like Fred and Rita, but Fred, go ahead and ask your question. He's the last one, but I do have one in the chat after he's finished. And that's
okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me? Hi.
Yep.
I'm going before the Crown tomorrow on a 2-day trial, and I did quite well. And I have a spiritual friend who I was on the way home. I was in the fetal position and just like felt very violated, and but anyways, he saw it, and I was pretty good at. I was authentically myself in front of the crowd, and he pointed that out to me. But it's like the doors in this brand new courthouse are like 12 feet high. It's a very terrible atmosphere of making us feel insignificant, like Dottie mentioned. It's just, anyways. And there's other people that were there that have things going on, friends and they were so distraught, and I saw it in their face, and they didn't stay for the last part of the trial. But it's a 2-day trial, and we're going back, and it's just like I went ice fishing with a friend, and anyways,
What's the question, Fred?
My question is basically, I'm just looking for a little bit of a boost to spiritually handle being, and I think the judge likes me, and he said to me about a few times, and I didn't catch it because I was so upset, but he, you know, anyways, he mentioned sort of that, you know, traveling conveyances, like I was riding a friend's snowmobile, and he called them 3 times traveling conveyances, which is sort of our, you know, it's a common law thing. Anyways, I'm just calling for just a little bit of a prayer to handle, just to have God with me in there. And I did pretty
so
good.
Fred, God is already with you. First of all, when you go into a courthouse, you are going onto satanic ground. And this is why, going back to Nina's question, this is why we need to call on the angels. So before you go in there tomorrow or tonight, you call on the angels. You call on the angels of power, right? And dominion, because that's the battle that you stepped in. I've been in a number of courtrooms as well. And you've got to know that you know who you are and that God is with you. If you come from any fear, they smell it and they love it. The enemy loves
I'm learning, and I have a folder when I'm talking, and I have, you know, I know, no, this is just an image, I don't know, but this is, you know, the Archangel Michael, but I mean, it's just a representation of it, and whether it's a good image or a bad image. So I have this folder with, and I'm reading from it.
Fred, have you been on the Zoom the whole time?
No, I had a Zoom call to get to prep, so I came on just in the last. I came in on 7:56.
All right. Well, this has been a teaching about it, so it might be worth you to have a listen to the recording of it, because I go through the different angels and their purpose and their plan, and you need to get hold of. You need to call those angels into your situation. All right. So that's it. That's where we're leaving it now. Because we're running out of time, Fred.
Oh, I know. Thank you so much. And I just called just to be part of this, because it's a beautiful thing that we're all doing here. And I just wanted to, but no, I don't ever get the recordings. They're not.
They're on the recordings are listed in the spiritual protection and expansion area, which is private. But anybody can get in there. You just got to be invited. It's just a separate area, but they're in there. And we'll have this recording. I will get it done tonight. This is too good. But her last week's is there. All of the weeks prior are all up in that area for.
Okay, thank you guys so much. And I'm sorry I missed it, but I was trying to prep for this.
You're fine. Don't worry.
I think I'll
that's fine. That's fine. But you can recap. But you can just call on the angels. You know, God is with you, Fred, and He's in this situation with you. Don't ever doubt that. The enemy will want you to doubt that, and you just call for the angels. You just go, right, or you come on with me, guys. I need your help. I need your protection, and we need the outcome that is godly and just in that situation, because the courtrooms are built, and I'm going to talk about this next week, on purely satanic rituals. They are built on ley lines, so that they can get extra power, and that's what you're stepping into. And they use a lot of mind control and fear in there. All right, thank you. Anyone? Okay, thanks, Fred.
We
Jenny,
just have one question we have left.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
And it's an excellent question to end on. Can you ask for help for someone else, and does that not go against the person's free will?
Okay. The answer to this question, guys, it's about the intent. So let me explain. Yes, you can ask for help on behalf of other people. You can stand in proxy for other people. The part that is where it becomes bordering on witchcraft is when people pray or ask for things to happen in according to what they want. So give you an example. You have a husband and wife. The wife decides that she wants her husband to do certain things, and he doesn't want to do them because it doesn't sit with him. It's like, that's not who I am. I don't want to do it. So then she goes into, the spirit and says, God, make my husband do what I want him to do. That is witchcraft. We all have free will. So any prayer that is prayed contrary to someone's will is witchcraft. If you have a heart intent where you want people or would love to see people get out of situations that are doing them harm, different story. But still, there's free will involved. Right? I'm going to get personal here with you guys, and this is just for here. When I'd been married for 21 years, I basically spent, my life doing what my husband wanted me to do, but still had a very strong relationship with God. So I managed to navigate satisfying what he wants, but still keeping my growth and my relationship with God really strong. It was still my most important aspect in my life. And we got to a stage where he was then forbidding me to do what God has called me to do. It was always a battle, but I was like, okay, I surrendered a number of times. And then I was spoken to very clearly by the Spirit, and it was starting to affect my kids. And it was like, enough is enough. And I really wrestled with that decision. And I didn't want that. I'm till death do us part type of a person. And he was like, nah. And I said, look, this is what needs to really happen. We need to get some help in our marriage. And he went, nah, you're the problem. I'm not. There's nothing wrong with me. And I went, wow, okay. And I was instructed to walk away from that marriage. I don't say that lightly. It was an easy decision. And as soon as I actually thought, okay, we're going to leave, but we're going to come back. God will fix this. So within 1 week of leaving, and God did everything. He got me a house. He just did everything. I didn't have to do anything. He set it all up. And I did ask my kids beforehand to go, this is how we're living. Is this how we want to live? And they both said no. So they were completely on the same page. And I did it mostly for them. And then I sat down with God, and God said to me, he said, I want you to renounce your marriage vows. And I'm like, what? And he said, I'm going, no, you're going to fix this. He said, you're going to change the way he thinks. And God said, no, because I will not go against his free will. Now, I had put a lot of effort and prayer into our marriage, was never against what his will and heart was, but it was like, God, I know that you can fix this. I know that it's your heart for this to be fixed, but God said, no, I won't go against his free will. And he knew that he wouldn't change. He still hasn't changed to this day. So sometimes there's hard choices, guys. There's hard choices in moving forward, in staying true to what God is calling you to, your purpose and your plan, right? And I don't go out to make things to happen for me. I don't pray that. I just trust. God, you will open the doors. I know what I'm here for. I know what's ahead of me, but it's God that's going to fulfill it. I'm not going to do it in my strength. If I do it in my strength, I have to maintain it in my strength. There's a real key there, guys. If you go and deal with the enemy in your own strength, you have to try and maintain it. You won't win. You will be battered and bruised. You will get hurt. You will have illness. Disease can come on your body because you haven't done it in unity with the Spirit and what he's asking of you. There's a real key in that, guys. I've learnt, don't do it in my own strength. Don't strive. Don't try to make things happen. Rest. God will make it happen. He knows your heart. He knows his purpose. He knows his plan for you. And all you have to say is, yes, God, I surrender. Because often the way we think things are going to happen is not what happens. There are some things that we have to just let go of. This is why it's important to cut negative soul ties, all that sort of thing. We keep ourselves clean, clear, cut off. Fred, cut off from the experience that you had that's negative so that you can move forward without that trauma, without that effect on your life. We're moving forward. We're taking ground. And that's part of the taking ground, is cleaning ourselves up, freeing our hearts, our soul, freeing our spirits, freeing our mind from the programs that we've had in the past, the programming. That's the shift. We're coming out from under the spell. Words are spelling. We write them in a sentence. Think of those two words for a minute. I'm working on doing a big word, a word challenge where we look at words in a different way, what they're really trying to do to us, what they're really saying. I just got to find the time to do it, but it's on my heart and I'm gathering more and more information on that. But yeah, our words, we create life or we create death. All right, guys, we're well and truly over, which I'm okay with, as long as you're all okay with that. I really hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got something out of it. Please, guys, please don't just come and listen for the sake of listening. I really want this to equip you. I want it to activate you. I want it to, encourage you to come on. Let's rise up in who we're designed to be. We are powerful beings. We're amazing. You're amazing. I'm amazing. And let's, get this. We're building an army that truly knows how to walk in unity and oneness with all that God has for us and who he is to us in our lives. Yeah. That's our heart's desire, isn't it, Jenny? That we build an army that we just have to send out an email, go, right, this is what we're dealing with, and everybody's up there in it, doing it. Maybe we need to start looking at doing some assignments together. But I want you to be ready, because I don't want anyone to get hurt or left behind. All right, everyone, love you loads, and see you next week.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Dottie.
Thank you,
Love
Dottie.
Thank you. So next week we're talking about demons.
Yeah. And tunnels.
Hey, well, thank you all. Thank you, Dottie and Jenny.
Love you.
Thank
very
you.
much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dottie.
And send in your questions.
Thank you so much. Thanks for ringing in for me. Love it. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
See you, Inga. Mwah. See you, Fred.
Thank you. So fun. So thank you so much.
Pleasure.